So I bought 5 pieces of filmmaking gear under $100 that I've extensively tested here on the channel and even on some of my film sets for a whole year. This is gonna be a good one. Hey, what's happening everyone? My name is Ryan and today I'm gonna show you 5 filmmaking gear items that are not only budget friendly, but for me have also stood the test of time. Let's get into it. Okay, so all of the gear that we're gonna talk about in this list are indeed under $100. But not only are they under $100, but these are things that I've used often in all kinds of film shoots over the last year and beyond. If you've been following the channel for a little while, you've probably seen some of these items in action. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later in the video. But first I wanted to say that we're not sponsored by any of the gear that I'm gonna mention here in this video. These are all just items that I love personally that we've used on all of our film shoots. So I just thought I would share these 5 items because they've worked well for me over a long period of time. So I just thought there might be some value there. I'm also gonna leave links to all the gear that I mentioned in this video down in the description below if you're interested. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the juicy bits. Item number 1 is this boom mic holder. Now this thing doesn't look very cool, but stay with me. If you are looking to track audio on set, and especially if you're doing all of it on your own, this will really come in handy. However, I've also used this on set when I have a dedicated sound guy, and that's just to kind of save him from having to hold the boom pole the entire time, and I only use it for talking head style videos or interviews, things like that. It really does come in handy and actually frees up an extra hand for my sound guy to do anything and everything else that he can do to help. This isn't something that I would use for a narrative style TV commercial or short film. For narrative style films, I usually have a dedicated sound guy on a boom pole who's mobile, but I would absolutely use this guy if you're filming interviews. Now, this one is designed for using on a C-stand. However, I have used this on just a tripod stand, but it only works when you're using more of a heavy duty style tripod stand. Otherwise, it's just kind of pointless. With a C-stand, you just pop this bad boy on one of those extension pieces, apply the boom holder like so, and then just place in your boom just like this. This bad boy comes in at about $22 on Amazon and is super handy, so highly recommended. Item number 2, we have a tube light, or this small tube light. Hold on one sec. One sec. This guy behind me is called the Ambit Full A2, and I have plenty of examples all over my channel using this one light for lighting tutorials and examples, just different lighting techniques using this guy, challenging myself to use this one light to see if I can get a good quality image that I like. I honestly can't tell you enough how much I love this light. Now on a professional film set, I'm not gonna actually have the crew pull this out and use it as our main key light, although I have done that before, like in this example here. However, I have used this in a pinch when I need to just fill in a small shadow in a corner or on a wall or even on a person, just like this example here. However, this light does have a ton of features. Some are better than others, some I absolutely love, but here are a few of my favorite features on this light. Number 1, of course, it's bicolor and it can range anywhere from 2500 Kelvin to 8500 Kelvin, which is more than enough. I'm gonna turn this light off, blinding you guys. Sorry about that. It's also a RGB light and can range from a variety of different colors like you're seeing here. This also has built-in special effects like fireworks and fire, although again, some of these effects are going to be better than others. You just gotta kind of try them out and see which ones work best for you. It can magnetize to metal like a lot of lights out there already, but my favorite thing about this light is that they have the handy app that you could use where you have full control over all of the lighting effects that you have available in this tube light, as well as all of the colors that you can get out of this light. I've used the app on set many times when I have this up on a C-stand and I don't want to bring it all the way down to make some adjustments. I can just do it all here within the app, which is super handy. Now again, I've had this for a year, which, wow, that's a long time. I definitely didn't expect for this to last more than a few months. I bought it because I needed it at the time and I was gonna buy a more expensive one a little bit later. However, this worked out really great for me and has definitely stood the test of time. This little guy comes in at $50 on Amazon. If you're looking for a budget tube light option, this is definitely the way to go, in my opinion. All right, and item number 3, headphones. These are the Sony headphones that I use if you're looking to monitor your audio on set or need to just hear what your sound guy is capturing. then these are great. Now, I've seen a lot of different sound guys on all levels of film sets using these. However, that doesn't mean that these are industry standard. And as a matter of fact, I have a lot of sound engineer friends who prefer their own headphones. So I do recommend seeing what works best for you. However, these come in at a whopping $75, which isn't bad for some high quality headphones. I've always liked them personally, and I've always used them for mixing and capturing audio all together. Even when capturing Foley, these have always worked great. And not only that, but these are also super comfortable and more importantly, stood the test of time. I think I've had these for over a year and they've never given me problems. I've always felt comfortable wearing them. And as a matter of fact, I have bought an expensive pair of headphones that I thought I was gonna love, and they ended up breaking after a month, so there's that. But I've had my Sony headphones for about a couple years now, and I've traveled with them. I've thrown them in cases. These things are pretty tough, and I've never had any issues. However, I don't actually recommend you throwing your headphones around. It's not good for them. Please don't do that. All right, next up is my ND filter. Not only are these under $100, but it's actually a 2-for-1 kind of thing where you get your ND filter and a polarizer. Let me show you how it works. A twist on the edge here is your polarizer, and then a turn of this knob here is your variable ND. As you can see here, you gotta love a twofer. I love this because I will often use both of these filters on set, and it's a lot better than having to switch out a bunch of filters. Now, I do realize that a lot of folks like the internal ND filters that you'll usually get within cinema cameras. I personally love those as well. It's easy, it's quick, they look great. However, I don't always necessarily need to use one of those style of cinema cameras. I have my Sony FX3, which helps with a lot of the work that I do, especially in documentary filmmaking. For my Sony FX3, this variable ND works great. I've also heard a lot of folks talk about how these variable NDs can cause some vignetting, which for me personally, I haven't experienced that problem with these ND filters. But like I said, I've had these for over a year, and I've never had any issues, so there's that. Here are a few examples of shots that I've gotten using these ND filters. I've even shot an entire documentary with one of these NDs. These are the K&F ND filters / polarizers, and this one in particular is the 72mm, which comes in at $89 US. Okay, and number 5 is something I didn't think would make it in the list, but it is a parabolic softbox. Now, technically, I've had this softbox for about 2 years now, and I've never really had a problem with it. As a matter of fact, it's one of the easiest softboxes that I've used personally, and that's to say a lot. I've used a lot of different softboxes. They're not all easy to use, unfortunately. I've used it in quite a few videos here on the channel, as well as plenty of client shoots. It is extremely easy to set up, which is a huge plus for me. This one just clicks into place like so, and we're off to the races. For the quality, usability, and at the price of $99, it's pretty amazing. There are softboxes that I love that are much less. However, you're gonna pay for it in labor. These things are sometimes very hard to use. It's not that big of a deal, but when you're on set and you're trying to be quick for your clients, it makes a world of difference. You could also buy softboxes that come with all the bells and whistles to make your life a lot easier on set. However, it's gonna be a lot more expensive, and I feel like this softbox here is the middle ground between both levels. It's easy to use, easy to set up, super quick, and it's gonna do the job very well. At $99, I really feel like this is the middle ground here. My only gripe, if I had to have one, is that this softbox did not come with a grid, which I like to use, but for me personally, that's not really a game changer. I still feel like this is a great budget option for most situations. We talked a lot about really great budget options, and every one of these have stood the test of time for me. Again, I used every single one of these items, some for a year and some for even 2 years, and I've never had any issues personally. But there's so many things that I've used over the years that have truly helped and didn't break the bank. I've tested a lot of gear over the years, so if you like this kind of content and you would like to see more, let me know down in the comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. There is so much gear out there in the world, and a lot of it is super expensive. Some of it isn't worth even buying, but if you're lucky and you do some research, you really get some good budget options for your film. So I would just encourage you to do a lot more research, test some of these things out for yourself, and just see what works best for you. Well, that's gonna do it for me, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this quick video. If you like this video or you learned something, please click the like button down below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Laters.